Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, we're back to Pippa here, and last time I realized I was, once again, kind of hyper-focusing on getting likeness with the hair and making sure that I kind of had all the shapes matched, to the detriment of everything else, and her hair just felt like plastic. And I forgot that, I needed to do things like make it flutter and be nice like that. Happens more often than I like to admit, but it's okay. I can salvage it, I think. Yeah, at least some of it. Let's see. Her body here is kind of bothering me and making it so I can't see, so I'm gonna kind of just get it out of the way there and... Okay, you know what? That entire area is covered up, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my mountains and I am gonna go ahead and make them a little bit bigger back behind where Pippa is, just so that this way I have a nice dark color back there. It won't affect anything at all because this will be totally covered up by hair when I'm done, and if it does, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. It's fine. But this should let me see a little bit better, so that this way I don't have a light background against a light hair color. Yeah, there we go. Look how much easier it is to see now. So, over there is still pretty light. I'm just gonna get rid of the sun. We don't need it right now. Yeah, don't worry about it. And now, what I want to do is, these two little bits of hair at the bottom. I moved this one around a little bit. I'm probably going to hide the loose strands. I do think that they are helping, but I think I'm going to save them for the end. I'm probably going to delete everything on them. Again, it's fine. So I would like to just save that for the end. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay. And I just want to make all the adjustments that I need here. So I want to move this one over a little bit. Right now I feel like the little bits blowing here are maybe too long. I don't know. But I figure I should work on the overall structure for a little bit. And then I can figure the rest out and whatnot. Okay. So this is going to be a bit of a mess here, and that's fine. I think what I'm going to do is lock these two, yes. So that this way I can move this a little bit more freely. I want this bit of hair to be blowing too. It needs to be a little bit longer here. I think I'll just stretch it so I don't have to completely redo the shading there. I might still have to redo a lot of it. Well, we'll see. But I just want to get a little bit of movement in here. This part, I think I can leave mostly the same. Over here, I'll deal with loose strands, and then over on this side, it's all going to be about the other hair kind of blowing around there. Although I do think I need this little strand here over the earmuff to be a little bit different, which unfortunately means I'm going to need to be changing my earmuff mask, and that's kind of a problem, so I'm just going to hide the earmuffs for now until I get that kind of the way I want it. Let's see, hide the highlights for a moment, and we'll hide this as well, just for a little bit, so that this way I can get this last little bit of hair here. I don't know, let's just make it come out this way instead of how it was before. It's okay, we're going to be doing a lot of reconstruction here, so some things will just not be able to be the same, but it's for the best. It is for the best. Okay. Let's see. Let's get rid of the contrast layer so that this way I can start putting hair back together here. I'll get the shadows on. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Whoops. Okay, there we go. It's alright. I will fix all the shadows and stuff in just a little bit. But I gotta start here. And because her hair kind of turns inward like this, I don't want to make it just a floof out this way too hard. It needs a little bit of that. Just right through here, just kind of starting to move outward, doing fluffy hair things. I'm just going to take my base color and I'll make it pink after because dealing with the pink is too annoying right now. So I'm just not going to worry about it. I find it easier to worry about one thing at a time. And right now, it is that the hair feels stiff and a little bit lifeless. So I want to add just a few more things happening here. And then we'll gradually let this kind of turn outward a little. And I think that'll be better than just having it do it all at once, and I still get to keep that, you know, structure that curls that way. And then at some point, with the loose strands, I'll probably, you know, do something like this, where I start curling it back over this way. I don't think I want to do it right there, though. It is not the place. I actually don't like that one. This one just... There's only so much I can do to get this to turn properly while still keeping the Pippa-like hair structure. Like, this is fine. I'm gonna do this lower hair first. I have some of this going on in that extra layer I put down while I was experimenting. Some of it'll stay, some of it won't. You know. Just gotta kind of work it through here. So this strand, the idea of it here is to be a little bit straighter than the rest, just so that this way it won't look weird when I start curling it out that way. And then I can get a big one going on over here, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I can. I don't know about that little guy. But it's alright. I will incorporate that little guy. So what I think he's gonna do is actually just kinda... something like this. Yes. Yes, that is nice. And then we can have a little connecting hair up there. Make it look like it's just kind of separating and just a little bit more fluff that way. I think that's good. I do think there probably needs to be a bit more, but that's going to be what I do with this guy here. This is just going to be the basics for a little bit. I don't know what I just did there, but... whatever it is, I definitely shouldn't have done it. Okay. I'm gonna make this one a little bit larger. I think that works. Sometimes you don't have to make things complicated. And then I'm just gonna bring a little bit kind of in front of her jaw here. I don't want it to be covering her chin, though. Just because I think her chin is an important source of information that I don't really want to get rid of. It's good for showing hair tilt or head tilt and stuff. So I do want to keep that part showing, and I don't want to cover her mouth. So I'm going to be very careful about that. I'll add just a little bit of looseness over there. But for the most part, I think that's probably good, unless I want to add some more underneath. I probably do. But that's, I think this is fine for now. Then I'll do kind of the same thing over here. I don't want to really cover her eyes. I do want to keep her eyes free, and actually that should not be on that layer, so let's back it up there. I want this on the other hair layer. It's actually important. Since it does overlap this part a little bit, and also this is just how I decided to group the hair layers, and if I change it, I will never find anything again in the future. And I like to think about my future self a little bit. At least a little bit. She should be kept in mind when it's convenient for me. Okay, once again, I don't really want to be covering her eyes, but I do want there to be just like a little bit of loose hair around there. Yeah, so somewhere like this. Okay, and then I can do something similar over here, where I just put a little bit of loose hair over here. Kind of let it separate out from this clump there. And I'm probably going to change the direction of a few of these and try to make that look a little bit nicer. Does mean I will have to reshade many a thing, but, you know, for the sake of lovely hair, it's worth it. Let's see. This color, I just kind of want a couple of loose little hairs right through here. Okay. And I'm just going to change the shape of this one. So he's going to kind of come this way a little bit instead of this way. So this is instead. Do the same thing with this tip here. Just kind of turn it a little. And here as well, but not quite as much. I think this one won't be instead. It'll just be like an extra little bit of looseness. And I don't even think her hair looks particularly wild or anything like this. It just looks fluffier, right? So I'm going to add a little bit to the back there. Just some of this I was doing with loose strands, but you know, I want to do it like this too. Just kind of like this. And then maybe just a little bit kind of fluttering out this way from the back. No. But it can kind of flutter out like this from the back, I think. Oh yeah, and she does also have that, oh, okay, at the top there that I still need to draw, which I have not yet done, but I think I'll do that at the end. Okay, so yeah, this already looks a lot better. I think I'm gonna start with cleaning up this, and then I'll add the other bits that I think are necessary at the end there. Because, yeah, I do think that a little bit more blown out kind of this way will be fine, and I'm not sure about over here or over here at this point, but this might be enough for these guys. But at the very least, it's enough that I can kind of get started putting it all back together. Okay, so what do I got to do here? Let's put the sun back. Because I think I'm going to want some of that, and I also kind of want the earmuffs back. So I will fix the mask on that, so that this way everything is sticking out as it should. Actually, in that case, I shouldn't make the sun back yet. Okay. Gonna lower the opacity of the earmuffs there, and get the hair. And none of this should be visible on the earmuffs. Okay. And what about up there? Is this all correct? Let's see, I think I want to kind of lessen it just a little bit here. Make it look like some fluff is getting up there, but not much else, and there we go. I think that works. Okay, now I can put the sun back. Let's see, am I happy with where things are located here? I think so. Yeah, her hair already looks so much less plastic. Okay. No, it's actually really kind of relieving to know that it had nothing to do with how I was shading it. It was just how it was drawn. It was a drawing problem, not a coloring problem. So, there we go. Let's go ahead and just... I want to fix some of these shapes a little. This guy feels a little bit flat to me. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer again. I keep doing that. I just kind of want to change the shape of this guy just a little bit here. And then, you know, I can go back to my regularly scheduled fighting by instincts. So that this way I can get a nice, soft look here. I gotta say, it still feels weird to be fighting the urge to just contrast everything. I do enjoy my heavy contrast. It is true. Okay, let's see here. For this one, I think I'm fine with this one to kind of just be an extra light. I will put a few little strands in here. Just to kind of separate things out. I'm trying to make the edge fairly hard. And then I'll kind of taper it back near the top there. So this is why I like Krita's airbrush. You can kind of do both harder and softer edges with it, depending on how small you make the brush and how hard you press. I was never able to do that with Photoshop's brush. Yeah, every Photoshop's soft brushes just always felt like plastic to me. Hello there, Blood Bullet. Welcome back. Okay, and then some of these things will be kinda... Here, I'm not gonna put a lot of heavy contrast there. I'm just gonna keep it all very bright. This is the part that's like in the sun, so it's fine. It can just stay like that. Okay. Get my basic hair colors again, so that this way I can get these new strands. And just kind of paint through everything there. I'll fix that in a second. I just kind of want to get the basic colors down here. Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty nice. I think I said a long time ago, well, maybe not a long time ago, but when I was starting this picture, that rendering will not make you feel better about problems that you're noticing early on. And, you know, it's still true, because no amount of rendering would have fixed the hair here. I had to fix it structurally. Because there were just some other problems. But, you know, now that I have fixed that, I'm actually feeling a lot better about it, so... That's also very nice. And you know what? I forgot to clean up the edges. I just realized how choppy those edges are. I should have done that first. Case in point, you know? Rendering it did not fix the little structural problem here. And yeah, just what do you know, the moment that I fix the thing that was actually causing the hair to look stiff, it suddenly looks a lot better. And I can feel a lot better about it, and I'm happy. Life is good. But it really was just that it did feel super duper plasticky, and... honestly, thinking about it, it's not really that surprising because I was trying very hard to match the likeness as opposed to, you know, doing nice illustration things like letting the hair flutter around like it should, like this. And that stuff is kind of important. Go figure. Let's see, this feels a little bit blurry, so I'm gonna make that a little bit less blurry. Okay. I don't want her hair to feel blurry. Not at all. So I can get some of these strands back in and doing interesting hair things. And let's see here. I guess I can clean this guy up now before I go ahead and move on to the next group. Just get all this blended together a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, let's go down and get these guys now. I will still make them pink afterward where appropriate, but I just find it a little bit easier to go through and render things with a solid color first and then just kind of add any gradients after. Trying to wrangle a gradient with shading when I don't use things like multiply layers very much. It is a little bit tricky sometimes, so I just prefer to handle it all at the end. And I do find it easy enough to change colors and whatnot that I just don't really worry about getting the colors exactly right away. I mean, have you seen how often I draw with hot pink? It's fine, I can save it for the end. Okay. So now I can get my... Oh no, I still have my hair colors. Excellent. So I don't even have to do that. So let's see, up here is going to have like a darker purple. So I won't worry too much about that one, but I will start getting some of these. And these guys are going to head off into the sunset here, so they're going to be pretty yellow overall. I just kind of want to divide them up before I put the yellow in. But you can see I'm not going very hard on the shadows here at all. Over here I will. Over here we'll get a bit more attention. But over there, it's just gonna be like all sunlight. So I don't need to put very much there. And then the highlights are probably going to require a shenanigan or two, because parts of the highlights have been blurred already and parts have not. So, or, you know, the fact that I'm drawing new parts means that those parts will not have been blurred, so I gotta make sure that happens. But I don't want to re-blur the parts that have already been blurred. Thus the need for a few shenanigans. You know, it's okay. I can pull a few shenanigans here and there, it's all good. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of start dividing things up over here, and then I'll get the dark shadows, I think. And then I can just get the parts that are just going off into the sun. And I'm just kind of thinking of all of these clumps as a little shape. So light source is over here, so I shade the side away from the light source. Very straightforward. I can just see each little clump as its own group. As like a solid object, because I mean everybody knows that anime girls are like 40% hair. So, you know, just think of it as a solid object, anything like the body. It'll work. It more or less is anyway. Okay, now I can get the dark color here. Just gotta plop it underneath things so I can get my cast shadows in. I don't really think I need it anywhere else other than just underneath these things. And I guess I will have to change the mask on the earmuffs here because this should be earmuff. Alright, let's go back to that. Let's see, do I have you masked or just not colored in? Just not colored in. Okay, cool. Whoops. Okay, no, I do have it masked. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just gonna blanket do that, and then I will just fix the mask afterward. There we go. That's much better. Okay, I'm gonna go put the hair out into the sunlight now. So I'll just grab the color I used already and just plop it on in. Get that nice and bright. And you can see I'm toning down like all of the shadows here. Just because they are all very much going into the brightness here. So there's not going to be much shadow on those parts. And I'll go ahead and do it up here too, because I think that I could use a little bit more light. Just right through here. The hair must be shiny. Okay, and before I go back and do the highlights, I'm going to go ahead and put in the pink parts. So that will be these two colors. So we'll have this color for the shadows down here. Pippa got a little bit of gradient hair going here. And this part for the non-shadows. And you can see I'm going to have to shade over things a little bit again. That's okay. Because now I understand the structure of everything, so I can just, I don't know, pretty effortlessly go in and plop down the colors that I'd like to see. And it's all good. And I just do the same on this side. Make sure every little bit of hair gets the attention that it needs. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty nice, I think. I'm gonna go do the highlights and some of the dark shadows before I go ahead and do the other bit of hair that I want to add. I do think I need a little bit more, especially over here. Down on these guys, not so much. I think they're looking pretty okay down there, but it's alright. We'll see what I want to do. So for now, let's take out the parts that do not belong there. And I don't think I'll need to blur the ones right here. This is just all going to be totally light. It's fine. But besides that, I will do like the rest on a separate layer just so I can blur it properly. And then I'll merge it down when I'm done. Okay. No need to name this layer since it will indeed be merged later. So most of this is going to be just all lit up here. This is like directly in the sun. I probably could have even done this on the layer I wasn't going to blur again, but I was scared, so just do it like this. And just get all those parts that are just so in the light that they can't help but glow a little. Let's see, this should not be there, so I'll get rid of that. And then I can just gently paint on all these parts directly facing the light source like this. Like this guy is super in there. And then add just a few little baby lights here and there. Yeah, I think I do want these to connect, actually. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Okay, and the rest over there I think is still okay. What about some of these new strands that I added? I think they could use a few little spots here and there. Just bring them all together. And I didn't actually add any highlights on this side. Do I approve of that decision? Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And I think that's good for those highlights, so I'll go ahead and blur this now. So I just duplicate the layer, grab the original, blur it by a small amount, 5 is fine here, and then I can merge them all together. So now they got a little bit of glow to them, and it's very nice, and I like it a lot. Okay. So now, the contrasty color. Do I want to change anything about you? Yes I do. Okay, I have my swatch on. I remember it was a weird green. Which still, I think is a little bit weird, but it's the color that looked good. And I chose it very deliberately, so I can believe. And I'll just go ahead and plop it back on here. So I got a few more hairs that are a little more thoroughly separated here, so I'll put a little bit of contrast through there. I'll let this one go a little bit higher, and just let it kind of fade to nothing up at the top there. I think these guys are fine as is. Up here moved a little bit, so I do need to kind of put it back. Ooh, and I missed a spot that I think needs a little bit of highlight. Let me finish up what I'm doing here first. We got an extra little strand here, so I want just a little bit more contrast separating a couple of those. Kind of fix up this area around the ribbon and through here, and I think you could use a little highlight too now that I look at it actually. And I'll just go through and, you know, gradually add all those little things. And what the heck are you? Oh, you're a gap. Okay. No, you're good. All is well. Huh. Right there, maybe not so well, though. That I should definitely fix immediately. Okay. I think that's good for the contrasty parts. I'll go ahead and fix those couple of highlights that I thought needed it. I think it's fine if they don't get blurred. So I'm not going to worry about it. And then this guy through right here. I just want him to be light. Oh dear. Autosave problem. That means that I'm gonna have problems. So give me just a moment to fix that. Yeah, my drive is like full again, and there's gonna be problems if I don't fix that like right now. So give me just a moment here. We're gonna get some errors on screen for a bit. I just gotta clear up some space. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this one should be plenty. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now it should stop complaining at me. Sorry about that. Man, I'd been so diligent about checking my remaining disk space for the past while, and I didn't for like the past 3 days, and look what happens. Alright, and there's also this guy here that needs to be light. Just the whole thing. I keep forgetting that that's actually a piece of hair. Okay. Now then, where was I? Yeah, I was doing extra contrasty bits, and then I noticed that there were a couple of areas that got changed to, like, right here. Should not go quite that far. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, I think that's good. I'll have to fix some of the shadows on her face, but I kind of want to finish up the rest of the hair first. So now let's revisit this layer. And kind of get this doing what I want. I like this hair. I kind of like this hair. But I don't think I like any of the other ones going around here. So I'm going to move these guys around a little bit. So that this way they actually kind of fit in with the rest of the hair. Something like that. And I want to use the base hair color. There we go. Just a few little guys, not necessarily going the same direction as everything else. But I think the rest looks fine, and over here I just don't think I like any of it, so I'm just going to clear all of that. I think that what's over here is fine. And now I can just deal with this. So once again, I'm going to go hide the sun. We don't need a sun here right now. And, you know, as always, because I have absolute control over the universe here, I just make the sun go away for a little bit. It's fine. I will let the sun rise again when it suits me. So now just a matter of kind of getting all this shaped nicely. This is fine, but I'm not feeling this right now. It does need to be there. I just don't like the shape right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and start over and redraw it. I don't really want all the hair to be going in like the exact same direction. It needs to look like it's blowing around. So I'm going to have a few different ones kind of doing different things. And I'll take it from there. There we go. Yeah, I think that's about what I want there, and most of this is just gonna be in the light again. This side will need a little bit more attention. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna merge these into their respective layers. So I'm gonna separate this part. And I will merge it into the rest of the hair after I kind of clean this up and shade it. Just because I don't really want to be dealing with all these layers. It's annoying. It means I would have to scroll through more stuff later. So I'll just go ahead and merge them. Keep my life simple. Okay, and I want this hair to be part of the silhouette, so I do need to kind of change the shape of this a little. I'm going to pull this hair out just a bit. Kind of pull this one up, this one out. That curve is awful. It's okay. I'll fix it. But I just kind of wanted to know where I was going with this. There we go. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna fix the curve a little bit here too. Just so that this curve is a little bit more noticeable. And I'll let another little thing kind of flip out there. I think that's perfect. No. This is fine. Okay. So I'll go ahead and shade him. This one is going to be like mostly pink, so I think I'm just going to make it pink right away. I don't think I'm right. I had my swatch first because I was covering up stuff. But yeah, I don't think I need to do this in regular color. Such things can make life easier, but you know, not always. So I'll just go ahead and plop in all of my shadows here. It's gonna be mostly dark. That's exactly why I just did it like this from the beginning. Get a little bit more pink over here, and there we go. I think that is fine. Now I can get the regular colors in. Just kind of do something like this. Okay. The darkest parts, where the cast shadows are. Okay. And I don't think they need any highlights or anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and merge it now. Pop. Alrighty. So next, I think before I do like all of the stuff on the contrasting layer, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this up. And unfortunately, I do kind of have to hide my swatch here. So let me go get the colors I think I'm gonna need, which is gonna be mostly these two, I think. No, I do want a little bit of the shadow color there. Okay. Let's see here. Swatch must get out of the way now. Highlights are kind of distracting for the moment, so I'm just going to go hide them. And now I can kind of clean this up. Fill in all the gaps. Let's see, this little bit of hair got a little bit blurry, so go ahead and fix him up a little. I just didn't like how blurry it was. And now I can carry on. Just making it so that the hair tapers off very nicely. Everything must be triangles here. Not whatever that weird needle line thing that I had was. Okay. Yeah, that's about what I want there, I think. Let's see. Yeah, let's make this just a little bit nicer looking. But besides that, I think this is all right. Okay. So I'll go ahead and plop in the few shadows that I think I need. Most of these are going to get kind of covered up, so I'm not going to go very hard on them. But I just want to separate the hairs a little bit. Let them all have their own kind of little identity here. Their own little place in this universe. Okay, and that is sufficient. I'll grab this now and kind of start plopping in the lightest points. Which, to be fair, is most of it. Okay. Now then, highlights. Let's go ahead and go put those on, and most of this is probably going to be highlight. So let's see, I'm gonna take away some of the stuff around here, just so that this way I will have some spots I can blur, because I get the feeling I'm gonna need lots of blurring here. Well, no, that's not true, but I am gonna want to blur this layer once I'm done, so that much is true. Just so that this way they will be a little bit more shiny. The hair must be shiny. It's very important. Shiny hair is just very appealing. And very fun to draw. As you can see that I didn't even bother like putting dark shadows from the cast shadow from the earmuff decorations there. Not necessary here. This place is just so heavily bathed in light that I just found that to be completely unnecessary. Okay. And there we go. I think that is a lot of the hair fixed, and oh boy, do I feel so much better about it. I mean, look at that. That just looks so much better than what I had before. It actually feels like it has life in it, and it still looks like Pippa. So, yay! It's actually going out and doing things. Having a good time. Let's go get the contrast now. So I'm gonna turn the swatch back on, get my weird green color that somehow works, and I'll just go back in. There's only a few little spots that need it, like over here, for example. Right here. Nah, not even right there, actually. I just want to soften up that edge there, and you know, that little bit right here I think is necessary. Just to kind of push some of the hair back here a little further back. But here, nah. This is fine. This is great. And I don't think I need any over here, really. That highlight needs a little bit of work. And the hair here has a hole. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think I can be happy with that. I'm also kind of tempted to just put like a small little cloud in front of her face, you know, because you can see your breath when it gets really cold. I'm not going to do that yet, but it's on my radar. I think I will do something like that. Okay, just taking a look around and making sure that I like everything. I think the next thing I actually have to do, I gotta get that bunny on Pippa's head. So I'm not really ready to handle the light and dark on the animals yet, so we'll just get some basic shadows here. We'll just have a little white one on her head. So I think that will be cute. And in fact, I think I want it to be a little bit whiter here. Okay, so I'm already using that. It's just the atmosphere color that I got going there. Okay, let's get rid of that. I know that at some point I'm going to be toning down the atmosphere in certain parts, so that's fine. It can be like that for now, and I will fix it up later. So I think I'm just going to use this little color. And we'll just give it a little bit of basic shading here. I don't think I need to go very hard on the bunny. This one will get more attention than many of the others, though, because this one is, like, right on her head. You can see it is so close to her eyes. And that is just the most important part of the picture. So I'll be going out of my way to make sure that's good. I'm gonna go put the sun back. I kind of need its coloring now. So that this way I can properly light the bunny, and I'm probably even gonna put a little bit of pink and purple into the bunny. Let it reflect the colors in the sky. And I'll give it a face once I'm happy with its fur. I don't really want to make a new layer for the face or anything. And then I'll do some things to make it look a little bit fluffier. But I kind of want to get some of these pinks and purples in. In fact, I think some of these pinks and purples will help make it look a little fluffier. Okay. So let's make him fluffy now. So once again, I'm going to be blobbing. Just a blobbing of the colors around. Much like Pippa, I think I'm going to put in just a nice little bright highlight there. And I'll see what happens. Okay, I think that should be good. Now let me get this super bright color here. And I'll just kind of plop it on the bunny over here. And then I'll have to adjust some of the coloring on her hair in order to have proper cast shadows, and probably on this ear too. So I probably should have drawn the bunny first, but you know, it's okay. All is well. What do bunnies look like again? They have like black eyes, right? Yeah. So I'll just steal a color from the coal over here on the snowman. And let's see, what are their eyes shaped like? Okay. I'm gonna make them nice and cute. It's very easy to make the shape very cute, so I don't have to try that hard. Okay. I like it. They're a little bit more on the side of the head, I think, but you know what? This is fine. I'm gonna give them little fluffy eyelashes too, because that is also very cute. I don't care if rabbits don't have eyelashes. This one does now. It is an anime rabbit. I can do what I want. Okay, what do their little noses look like? So it looks like we get quite a bit of color variation in the nose. I'm gonna go with a little pink nose. I'm gonna steal the color from Pippa's eyes. And we're just gonna give this little guy a little pink nose here. It seems to be common on white bunnies. And I want a little bit of pink in the ears here. I'm actually going to take a shadow color for that. A little bit of pink in the ears here. Oh yeah, this little guy's adorable. I like him. Okay. And now I can just kind of dab in, you know, little bits of shading here and there, and I think I'm gonna put a little bit of pink into the eyes here to kind of give the impression of an iris. And then just some shiny spots. Okay, there we go. I think that's a cute little bunny. Works for me. Okay. Let's go put some shadows on her hair. This I think I will do on a separate layer because I am scared. We'll call you Bunny Shadow. No, not Bunny Moji, Bunny Shadow. There we go. Tablet was covering my spacebar, so I was having trouble hitting it. Okay. So I'll just plop in some shadow colors here. Ah, yeah, that's right. Here, contrast. Can you be on top without breaking everything in the highlights? Yes, yes you can. Okay, I'm gonna put you there then. Okay. Now I can just kind of go over all the areas that the bunny covers. Make them a little darker. Give that bunny a little bit of presence here. Bunny's real close to her though, so I don't need to do a lot. And I actually do think I will be adding a couple of darker areas on this bunny, but I just kind of want to start with this right now. Okay, so let's go back up to the bunny here. And I want to plop in just a few darker areas. So I'll use that color. And I want some darker spots over by its foot here to kind of separate it out from that ear. And kind of up here by its tummy. And then I want just a little bit more color separation down here under its neck. Kind of bring its head out from the rest of its body a little bit. And I want a few more lights on its head and face. There we go. Okay, I think that's a pretty cute little bunny. He's just kind of flopping there, having a good time, riding on Pippa's face. Just gotta be very, very content in that little spot. Okay, let's go put in the shadows on the ears now. Oh, let's see here. My ear shadow color is this one, so we'll just plop a little bit just right around here. I don't really think I need any more than that. Yep, looks good to me. That bunny is so there. I'm gonna have to draw so many animals here. I'm terrified. But it's okay. If that's one of the more detailed animals, I can definitely deal with this. And I do think that is a pretty cute little bunny. Let me see, does it have the elements that make bunny cute? I just want to take a quick look here. I feel like its head is maybe a little bit misshapen, but I think it's fine. Okay. So let's go add all those loose strands to the hair again. So I got it all turned on here. Yeah, and as expected, I kind of just want to redo all of them, so let's do it. I needed that to make myself feel better last time, back when I wasn't sure what was wrong. But now I don't, so I can use them a little bit more structurally, and just do a few more little interesting things with them than I did before. Be a little bit more deliberate in my approach here. Okay. Get a few out here. And you can see they're not necessarily following the overall flow of the hair. I find loose strands are actually really good for breaking the flow a little bit. Very useful for that. Because if you do it with the clumps, it'll look bad, but if you just do it with these few little bits of strays, it'll actually look pretty nice. And make the hair feel a little bit less stiff. So I don't necessarily follow the shape of the hair with these. Okay, now I'm gonna grab this color here and do a few loose ones around here. Wait, what's going on right there? Oh dear. That was a spot that I didn't erase properly before merging it all together. Oh, but I didn't merge it. Okay, that's good. What are you? Okay, you're just some extra here. Okay, I lucked out. That was dangerous. I had some residue going on, and I was just like, oh no. But, you know, all is well. And I generally like having a lot of loose strands, like a shade lighter than the rest of the things, just because light does catch some of these loose strands a little bit more easily. It depends on my mood. Okay. Yes. Yes, it is. Hello there, Bubby Bunny. Welcome. Or welcome back, I should say. Alright. So, let's get the last bit of hair here. And I think most of that is just going to be like super lit up. It's slightly underneath the bunny. But we gotta get her silly hair in there. Oh, it actually goes the other way. The bunny would definitely squish it then, but you know what? I gotta have it, so it's gotta go this way. Just so it can defy the bunny. Alright. So I think that shape should be pretty good. I'm at 133%, so everything's gonna look bad for some reason. I better fix that. There we go. Okay. And I do want most of that to be brightly lit like that, but there's gotta be parts that aren't. So I'll just do it like that. Let a little highlight go through there, and then I'm going to put a little tiny shadow just at the bottom here. Okay, and then on the part where I drew all the shadows for the bunny, I'll go ahead and draw some shadows for this little bit of hair too. Just bring it on out. There we go. Dude, there are so many bunnies in this picture. I mean, not all of them really look like bunnies yet. Like, this one's maybe a little questionable, but it's okay. It's okay. In the future, I assure you, they will be very cute. I'm not much of a rodent person myself, but I will do my best to make them adorable. Okay, so I think that's all the hair done, so I can finally just get into her eyes. Alright, let's go. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with these eyelashes here. How exactly do I want to be handling those? I thought about it for a while, and you know, art is hard, so let's see. Let's see here. So I think first things first, I'm gonna plop in a little bit of skin tone and redness on the corners. I have noticed that many people that like to go for a softer style do that kind of thing, even though I never do. So let's just kind of soften the corner a little. Oh yeah, that's right. I never merged the spikes. I should do that now. Okay. Take two. Okay, I'm gonna take the people that do softer styles more of the time. I'm gonna kind kind of try their techniques and see how it works out. Alright, then a bit of redness. I don't know, should I just approach this like when I blush cheeks and just get like the reddest red possible and very lightly brush over things? You know, unironically, yes. Okay. Then in the corners here, I'm just gonna kinda grab the colors there and make these a little bit lighter. Just a little. Mostly in the corners, to kind of let them fade. Yeah, I think that works. The joy of trying things. Okay, let's see here. Alright. So I kind of want to get a little bit more of eyelash structure in there, so I'm going to add a few little shadows around my eyelash spikes. I'm not going to go too hard on it. I could definitely go way harder than this, but even this I think is pushing it, so... Let's just kind of take it back a little. And I actually am going to try to stay out to 100% here, just so I can really see what I'm doing. Okay. Then I'm going to go over it again. Make them a little bit lighter. Yep, I think that works. And then I just got to do the same for this one. And it'll go back and forth together. And I know, I could already tell that I want a little bit more going on up at the top there. Okay, then I take the whole thing back a little. Okay. Yeah, I think that works. So let's see, I'm just gonna pick a slightly darker color here. I don't really have one. Okay, I'll get one. I will get one. Head on up to my swatch layer and nope. Clicking the wrong button here. Oh wait, no, I don't want to use the airbrush for this. I want to use my regular brush. Okay. Yep, that works. I'll go ahead and add it to the swatch, because why not? I'm already here. And so, what I'm gonna do... I'm gonna find my eyelashes again, and just kinda... brush around a few places. Add a few shadows from the hair. And then I'm gonna hide the hair for a second, and I want the eyelashes to catch just a little bit of light. So we need Pippa to be bald for a second, just so I can see. And I'm gonna let them catch just a tiny, tiny bit of light here. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay. I'm not sure how much of that will be visible, but I at least know where it should be, so I can, you know, taper it off as I deem necessary. So, you know, just do some stuff like that. Nice and easy. Most of it's not visible, but it's okay. It makes me feel good about myself, so there we go. And yeah, I think that actually looks pretty alright. I might add like a little dark spot on the bottom side of her eye there. Just cuz. Just give the eye just a little bit more presence here. That does remind me that I need to go back and do head shadows for the hair since I changed it, but I want to do her eyes right now. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright. Honestly, I don't really feel like I need to do that much with them. Let's see, the Pippa character sheet has the highlight color here. So I'll go ahead and just kind of plop in just a little bit of light here. Just to make them a little shinier. But I don't really feel like I gotta do a lot with these. Which feels weird to say about anime eyes, but it's the truth. It's how I feel about it. Alright, just gonna... I don't know, mess with things until I'm happy. That's just kind of how it goes. Just poke at it, and then once I'm happy, I can move on. And I guess I'll go ahead and add just a little bit of light around the highlights too. Why not? A little bit right there, and right there. I kind of wouldn't mind them being just a little bit more sparkly. Do I add literal glitter? Yeah, sure. Let's see what happens. Glitter makes everything better, so it should be fine. We'll just put the layer on color dodge and get the glitter. Krita's Starfield brush is fantastic, by the way. I use it for, like, everything. Put it over the pupil, too, maybe? Nah. Under the pupil. Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. You know, and when in doubt, glitter. Alright, we'll see if I want to do anything else with them a bit later, but I think that's where I'll leave them for now. Do I want a little bit of light in the bottom of the pupil? Maybe? Doesn't make sense, but you know, it's anime, it doesn't have to make sense. Nah. I don't like that. I don't. Okay. So yeah, I think I'll just leave it there for now, and I think they kind of got everything it needs. The shiny highlights. I might make them just a little bit bigger, actually. Although, I don't know. She's already starting to look maybe a little bit too innocent. Okay, no. I'll leave it there for now. We'll see if I feel like it needs something. But I think right now it's actually pretty okay. I don't really feel the need to add just a million sparkly reflected things into my eyes. I could go for some more hair shadows though, you know, those are always pretty good. It looks like some of them are going to have their location changed a bit, so let's get that in there. And then I'm still not 100% happy with the mouth, so I think I'm going to go revisit it. And I know hair doesn't cast shadows like this, but I'm kind of also using that as a line to separate everything from her head and make things a little bit more visible that way. I always find such a thing convenient since I don't use lines in my style. So I gotta use shadows in specific ways to do it instead. Okay. I gotta be careful about picking colors when I have the blush layer on, so let's turn that off while I kind of perfect this. There we go. And I'll add just a little bit more down there to give it a little bit more presence. And then I think I'm going to go poke at the mouth just a little. I think it's mostly there. It's like 90% there. It's mostly this side. I just feel like the side that is in the light should be a little thinner. And then it'll get a little thicker as it goes through into the more shadowed side of her face. I think I'm just using pupil color for this. Yeah, I think I'm much happier with that. So I think her head is looking pretty good now. Let's see, is that the entirety of the head here? I think it is, actually. Cool, so this means I can kind of collapse it and not have to scroll through all those layers anymore. Okay. So strictly speaking, when it comes to her head, I have not done the back hair here, but I always like to do that after I do the body. So I will do that. So yeah, I guess it's time to get into actually figuring out all the details on the clothes and stuff. That's wild. It's always amazing to me how fast everything kind of comes together once I finish the hair. Freaking hair, man. It's just everything. And I think I changed my mind on how I want to handle all of the parts of her arm that are above the snowman. I do want them to be above the snowman, but I think I'm just going to mask the snowman and let them stay together with everything here, because I just realized it's going to be like a serious pain to do it any other way. So I'm going to go ahead and merge some of these things together. So we got a coat here. Where's the snowman? I need you to get out of the way, friend. Well, we'll just have a nice little floating rabbit right there. Pippa's there levitating it with her powers. The hand is like in the right place for that. And the deer just looks very confused. I think this bunny up here. Where'd my cursor go? Krita, please let me have my cursor back. Thank you. Okay, but yeah, I think this bunny up here is even more confused. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to hide the animals again anyway. So I just kind of want to focus in on her here. Yeah, and I think it'll probably be almost time to draw that snowman, actually, like once I get down to her legs and her dress here, because these are going to be going behind the snowman. Am I happy with her proportions? It's like, look, I counted her head height based on her model over here, and it was like 5, and I think mine is like 6. So if anything, she's a little bit long. But I'm not used to drawing such squishy proportions. Mine tend more toward, I hesitate to say realism, but yeah, more realistic proportions. Where's her body? There it is. Okay. The mittens are down there too, so I'm just gonna pull all the snowman stuff down here. Okay. So I can merge that there. The mittens are here. And I'll just go ahead and plop your ribbon there too. Okay. There we go. So now I'm gonna have less layers to deal with, and that'll be nice. And I'll just mask the snowman when the time comes. So this is where I kind of gotta figure out everything about this design that I had in mind. And man, a lot of my thoughts here were just like, Sweet Lolita just makes everyone look like a marshmallow, in my opinion. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of clean it all up together, since I'm also very much focused on the design as well. I can't really do it piece by piece like I would normally handle rendering. I gotta do the whole thing, and oh boy. Alright, Pippa's head is in the way, so I need to kind of cut that off. It is also not attached to her body properly, so I should probably do something about that. Seems like maybe a good idea. Okay, let's get this over to where I think her neck is gonna be. I fear YouTube, so I'm not gonna just take off the dress and figure out where her various body parts are. I'm just gonna hide the hair, I guess. As much as I would like to just be able to focus solely on body proportions for the moment. Like I said, I fear YouTube. So I kind of gotta cheese my way through it. Let's see, she's probably gonna have a neck doing something like this. I think I can at least hide the coat. Yeah, that's fine. It's covered in her chest. It should be fine. And then I can pull the arms out here. She's kind of leaning, so this is reasonably accurate, I think. Don't mind the back of her head. It is fine. The loose strands look very mysterious when there's no hair. Okay. Neck feels a little thick there, and then I think I want this arm to come back a little. I just need the basics of where her body is before I can properly draw everything. So yeah, she's leaning forward a little. That will actually lift this arm a little bit more, I think. It's a relaxed lean, but it's not that relaxed. So with the way the lean is, I kind of want the shoulders to be lining up like this. So yeah, I think this one needs to be a little higher. This is kind of where it folds into the arm here. Okay, and then from there, I think I can kind of get the shape of her body right via the dress. So I don't really think that I need to make just a whole new thing or worry about that too much. I think the top of her dress is going to be hugging her body strongly enough that I can just use it as the shape of her chest here. So let's see. Probably something like this, and the thing that's holding the buttons needs to come this way, as do the buttons themselves. There we go. That better matches up with how I'm tilting the rest of her body here. Pippa doesn't really have boobs, so this is fine. And let's see, how is the body stretching? That's kind of important to figure out here. So if I'm thinking about the pose, we'll just have like a head doing this, you know, kind of leaning forward here, shoulders, this kind of coming back here, this one kind of coming out. And that will stretch and pinch kind of like this. And then there will be legs. So it's kind of like that. So the pinch is here. And that's going to be in her stomach. Stick figures are very useful. Don't underestimate their power. So there's going to be a pinch in her stomach. I'm actually going to hide the buttons for now, which will make the stretch in her back. Right now, she's feeling a little chunky, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of make her a little thinner through here. And then the shape of the dress here is just going to be unbelievably poofy and bell-shaped. And I will go ahead and just erase the parts of the body here that I don't need anymore. I could do all kinds of various colors for the dress here, but it's not really necessary for me to care. So I'm just gonna make sleeves. All of this is gonna be covered by code, so it's fine. I'm just gonna make little sleeves so that this way I can understand. And I'll let the collar of the dress be something like this. That's fine. Any shape is fine, really. Arm will come up here. And this way I can just focus on one layer to figure out the shape of the body here. And I don't have to keep going back and forth between the dress layer and the body layer, and it'll be nice. Okay, so once again, I'm just gonna try to figure out the shape of the arm and a shoulder with the newfound dress powers. Thinking about how her stomach and stuff should be shaped, I'm just gonna pull things apart a little bit here. There we go. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Is her torso a little bit long? I don't know. It might be. Let me just get these arms the same length here. This one's kind of reaching up. And then we'll have a stretch on the back here, so it's going to curve a little bit more like this. And I will try to get the shape of the shoulder right here now. Before it was, you know, just kind of the general gist, but now I need to actually get things kind of correct. I think the shoulder should actually be a little further back even. Let her head kind of stick forward. Let's see, I think the center of the dress here should be this way. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's why I'm drawing this, even though this is all going to be covered by stuff. But once I'm a little bit more confident in the body underneath, I can kind of trust whatever I draw on top. So that will actually make my life easier, even though it's a little bit of extra work now. Okay, I'm actually going to plop down some shadow colors. Do I have? I do. I do have some shadow colors for the dress already. This is, again, more stuff that'll probably be covered up, but it'll help me visualize, and that's kind of what matters here. I think this is an appropriate level for the dress, which means, yes, her torso is just a little bit long. Which is good, because I felt like her legs might have been a little bit short, so I can kind of kill two birds with one stone here, and raise the dress up while keeping the feet in the same place. So this will put the belly button, like, right about, once I find the layer here, which I think is accurate. And then everything will fan out into the poofy thing that looks like a cake. Okay. Oh, are you not the dress layer? You're not. Oh, well. Where is the dress layer, then? There you are. I'm just going to put that there, so this way I kind of understand a little bit better what I'm drawing. I want the sleeve to be the same length as the one on this side. And now I want to kind of erase the body layer a little bit, so this way it'll stop confusing me, and I can kind of, you know, get all these things going. Okay, so just looking at the arm here, the elbow needs to be a little further this way. Right now it's maybe a little bit noodly up there. That's fine. I'll fix it. I just need to get things started. And we'll have her chest going up like that. The armpit kind of behind it there. Then up in this, I'm just gonna drop all of that up here a little bit more. Armpit right there. And yeah, I think this has the feeling of leaning forward just a little bit. So I got the little pinch at her stomach. That's always a good way to think of poses, I think, of just... anytime you have something kind of scrunching together, you're going to get a pinch on one side and a stretch on the other. So you can see that I'm just really rounding out the back here, because that's the side that's stretching. And then we're getting a pinch right about there. So I actually kind of want that pinch to be a bit lower. I feel like Pippa's chest looks a bit big here, so I'm going to tone that back a little bit. Drop it just a little bit there. Pull this side forward because this is how it's tilting. And I'll just, step by step, start understanding the general structure of the body here. I want to bring out that pinch just a little bit more here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to turn her hair back on, and I want to take a look at how I feel like everything is kind of moving there. Her torso might be a little bit small for her head. Yeah, probably a little. Okay. To be fair, I did shave a lot of it away. So... let's just make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, that feels a little bit better. And what about her neck? Do I still feel good about the neck? Okay, so this is telling me that based on how I moved her shoulders around, that I probably want her neck to be a little bit further to the left. It's like it feels kind of connected there, but the fact that the body disagrees means that there's probably some anime magic happening here that I just need to account for, and it is what it is. So... okay, and then I can adjust the shoulders on this side just a little bit. Okay, let's turn the hair back on. That seems okay, I think. Alright. So I'm going to start getting into the poofy, marshmallowy part of the dress now. And let's see, with the way this bend is going here, I think that there should be a little... I don't know. The pinch continues here. There's going to be like lots of folds. Oh, I don't have the right color. Oh yeah, I had the skin tone for a little bit. There's going to be like lots of folds through here. And a lot less back here. There's probably going to be like a big one. But over here there's going to be like lots of little ones as she's bending over. So something like this, and I will pull this out like this a little bit. and then let it marshmallow. Okay, yeah, something like that. I will check proper references for how folds are actually made on dresses like this later. I'm not really going for realism here. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. See, this is why I said that I was going to have to approach the whole thing at once. Well, half of why. The other half being just, I'm not entirely sure how I want the whole thing to look yet. So I need to kind of design it all together. And then the other part is proportions are a thing, and I gotta make sure that, you know, everything's working together as it should. And that nothing feels like it's taken over. Okay. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Her legs feel a little bit thick now. But I think before I get into the legs, I gotta get into the arms. And we're gonna make those a little bit less noodly. I think I'm actually gonna use my skin shadow color for most of this. Just so I can see. So I don't mind her arms being a little noodly. She is on the petite side. But I don't think I want them to be quite this noodly. Okay, but that's not bad. Reaching out her arm toward her little deer friend that'll be holding the hat. Not there right now, but he'll be there. He'll be there later. Get an elbow up in here. Try to get the shape of this arm looking good. Right now I feel like it's bending where it shouldn't, so I'm kind of trying to straighten it out a little. And then you don't see too much of, like, random elbow shapes here, I don't think. Let me see. How should this work? Something like that, I think. This still feels like it's bending weird, so I will revisit it, but I think a lot of this is going to be covered by coat, so I'm not super inclined to go very hard on it. As much as I do like putting nice arm shapes into things. Does her arm feel long? I think it's more that the elbow's just in the wrong spot. Needs to be a little higher. Hello there, Protox. Welcome back. Okay. Go down, and that's probably fine. It's a bit weird looking, but like I said, it's going to be covered up, so I'm not super inclined to be an extreme perfectionist over it. And then I think her legs are also mostly skin tone. It's just I put a tights layer on them. I'm going to hide that for now. And I'll try to get those legs in there. I'm going to hide her shoes for a little bit too. And just finish up basic proportional stuff. And then, you know, I can start turning the layers back on and actually designing out the dress here. So they're just, you know, going to be coming out doing basic leg things. I do want her feet to be pointing to the deer. That's actually important in terms of body language. Like, did you know that the best way to tell if somebody is not at all interested in the conversation is if their feet are pointed away from you. They want to get away. So I want her feet to be pointed kind of toward the deer. right. So I'm just kind of get a general leg and calf shape here. I figure that this dress is about knee length, so we start seeing a little bit of the calf and how it goes into the ankle there, but that is detailed enough for what I'm doing. Just because, you know, it's going to get covered up. And then we'll have this one kind of coming out over here. She's not leaning too strongly. So I don't really want to do, like, you know, a foot on the ground like this. That makes the lean look a little bit stronger than I think it should. It's going to be kind of like that, but not quite. So I'm trying to angle this leg so I don't have to do it too strongly. And I can just kind of have it, you know, just barely off the ground like that. I just want to make sure she feels like she is firmly standing on the ground. And let's see. I'll hide the trim for now. And I'll just get the general shape of the dress here. There we go. Nice and marshmallowy. As things should be. I think this side actually needs to come in a little bit. I'm going to hide the ribbons too. Just kind of pare back detail until I am confident in everything else. Until I am confident in structure. And I get the feeling that a bell-shaped dress like this would bunch up a lot, or just around her waist here, so I want to kind of show that. I just want to show that, and it's going to kind of come out the back. She's not leaning that far forward, so I don't need it to really be flipping up at all. But there we go. I think that level of structure is about what I want, and I do feel like she is standing firmly on the ground. Her dress feels like it is on her. Her torso feels the right length, and, you know, all of these things. And her shoulders feel the right width. So I think I'm probably off to a good start here, but I don't really trust myself when it comes to proportions. I just don't. So I'm going to take a little break from working on Pippa, and I'm going to go work on some stuff in the background, I think. So let's see, what would I like to do? Yeah, maybe I'll start working out these foreground trees. That seems like a good idea, and they're not really dependent on anything at all. So I got the snow there. I think the snow is actually, like, perfect. Yeah, I feel like there's like a little cluster right here that I gotta do something about at some point, but I'm not too worried about it for now. So sure, let's get these trees doing what I want them to do. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clear what I have. Actually, no, I'm not gonna completely clear them. I am gonna keep them there and, like, reduce the opacity so that this way... maybe I should just invert the color. Perfect. Okay. Basically, I just want to know where I put them. And now I can draw a little bit more deliberately. I'm gonna actually look up a reference of evergreen trees. And just get a general shape for what I think that they should look like. So it looks like some of them, the branches point up, and other times they point down. I'd say overall they're pointing upward more often than downward, which I think is kind of funny. It's not actually the kind of thing that I'd expect. But yeah, they are... typically, their branches do indeed kind of point more upward. Okay, that's interesting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of plop a shape here. I don't know if I'm using this color. You know what? I'm gonna grab the color from here. I want to make sure I'm using the same one. I wasn't. Okay. No wonder the color looked wrong to me. Okay. I'm gonna plop a shape here. And now I'm just gonna kind of start putting up the big branches that I kind of see. So I don't really see a lot of branch shapes on this. They're mostly needly. But they are kind of going upward, and I want to respect that. So I'm going to have these kinds of shapes coming through. And I can take it back as I need. You can see I'm not being very precise at all. This, you know, it's not great yet, but I just gotta get things started. And I just kind of want to get the basic idea of the silhouette here. Because this is going to be blurred to oblivion. Like, it really does not matter that much. I just need to make sure that once it's blurred to oblivion, that it's recognizable. And that's what I think is really important here. Okay. So I kind of want to add a little more shapes coming out of it. I feel like evergreen trees kind of do this kind of thing. Or at least a lot of them. And I don't think I'm going to smooth this out that much. And in fact, I think I'm going to go and make Krita lag. And I'm going to go ahead and add a blur layer that will do what I want here. Let's see, is that sufficiently blurry? Is that sufficiently blurry? I'm debating if it needs to be more blurred, but I think that's probably fine. So I'll go ahead and get my layer underneath. I'm going to reduce the opacity, and like I said, I'm going to make Krita lag. It's going to be a little upset for a little bit, but that's fine. And then I'll just go and clean it up here, so this way I won't spend too much time cleaning up stuff that doesn't really matter. And I do think I have it covering all the spots I want, so I'm actually not going to reduce the opacity here. But here we go. Now I can really carve out the kind of shapes that I want and get things going. And I think I have them a little bit too long up here. Don't worry about the random squares. They are not real. They cannot hurt the picture. Sometimes I'll go through and clear them. It's just, you know, when Krita starts lagging, sometimes it gets a little confused. Don't worry about it. And then, you know, periodically I'll clear them so this way I can actually see what things look like. But yeah, I think this is working. I think this is looking very evergreen tree-like. I don't know what variety of evergreen tree necessarily, but I think it looks good. So, it's fine. Okay. Alright, then I'll do the same thing kind of over here. On this side, I determined that we were only like seeing the very bottom of this one. So I'll just kind of do that again. And I have to remember the branches point up, not down. My instinct is to make them point down. But that's not what's actually happening. So I gotta fight my instincts there. Okay. Okay, and I can't deal with the artifacting. I gotta fix it. I'll let it finish updating, then I turn it back on. But I gotta keep the blur on. I gotta know what it looks like with the blur. Fortunately, you know, once I have this done, I can just kinda turn off the blur layer and just trust. But until then, you know, I gotta be able to see what I'm drawing. I gotta know what it's gonna look like in its final state. So I can't just turn the blur off. Life is hard. Okay. I don't think I need this layer anymore. Oh, what did I just do? I don't know. Oh, I selected the layer. Okay, you know what? Sure. It's fine. Okay, so this is the snow, right? Oh god, the lag. Why does blurring have to look so good? Peak? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but hello there, RP. And welcome. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some light just around the rim here. Just lightly brushing it in. I don't want it to get too light, and I will put in some shadows after. Because I do think that even blurred this much, it needs a little bit. Just a little bit. Just so that it too can kind of fit into the scene. And then I'll probably put some snow on it as well. Actually, you know what? I should do that first. What am I doing? That's what it was missing. It wasn't light. It was, It wasn't light. It was snow. Yes. That's what it needs. Okay. You know what? That makes sense. Alright, where is my swatch? I want to get a nice shadow color there. And I'm going to plop some snow on this. I think I'm just going to do it all on the same layer. It's all blurred. It doesn't matter. But I'll go ahead and get some snow in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, I already like this. So we'll just let some snow sit on the tops of the branches here. Just like all of them. Oh, well, thank you very much. And you know, I should get my other color too, just so I can switch back and forth and kind of cut into where the snow is going to be. And make it more snow-like and nice. Because right now it's got a little bit of layer cake effect, but it's okay. That's just the first step. And, you know, I don't want my tree to look like a layer cake. I want it to look like a tree. So let's go ahead and pull some of the snow back. Have some variation, and that'll be kind of where some branches are sticking out and whatnot. I have to clear the artifacting again. But I can't turn off the blur! I can't! Otherwise I won't see it properly! And then I won't know if I have all the things in good spots, and it'll be sad. I don't want to have to guess, I just want to see it. And I like doing it like this because then I can see how it looks like blurred while I'm painting. Even though Krita does not always agree with me. It's okay. Krita's doing its best. Krita is doing its best. Alright, let's see if I can clear the artifacts again. Just wait for it to update before I click any more buttons. Okay, yeah, this looks fine. And I'll put some snow on the other trees eventually too. It just, you know, I haven't gotten there yet. It's fine. That's a job for future me. Alright, I'm gonna go plop some snow on this side before I start worrying about lighting. Just do the same thing, and then I can light it and make it all look really nice. And then we can draw some more bunnies! Because I got some bunnies in the foreground! Okay. The good news is that even after just working on these trees for a bit, I'm still feeling pretty good about Pippa's proportions. So I should be able to just, you know, get into designing the rest of her dress next time. It'll be great. She'll be so fluffy. She'll be the epitome of marshmallow. Okay. Alright, I think that should be good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in some really light spots here, just kind of along the edge, where I feel like the snow will be catching the light the most. I'm gonna be very, very sparing here. This should be pretty dark overall. I just feel like it needs a little something, you know? Just a little something. A little something to really bring it out. Make it look just a little bit more finished. Okay, and I think I want some shadows too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pick a nice purple. Actually, I think I'm just gonna use my generic purple here that I have swatched. And I'm gonna set the brush to multiply. And I'm just gonna brush in a few dark areas. It's not gonna make that big a difference, but I think it'll help a little. And I might just go over this entire thing with a little bit of purple, because I think some spots got a little bit light. So, I just kind of want it to be a little bit more silhouetted. Okay, that should be good. And that took away a little bit more of the yellow that I like. So I'm gonna just plop that in just a few key areas, and that should do it. Like I said, just a few, and no need to go overboard with the light spots here. Okay, there we go. And see, that's what it looks like when it's not blurred. This is why I wanted to make sure to have my blur filter on while I was working. So this way I would actually know what it looks like, because it actually looks pretty okay when it's properly blurred. And it just, you know, looks like this when it's not. It's very special. Alright, let's draw some buddies. Okay. I guess I'll put the snow back too. Let Krita update. Alright, so far so good. Let's get the bunnies in here. Okay. And now that I know the exact location of all the trees, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of plop them in their final spots. Because, like, this guy's hiding a little bit too much. I want to bring this guy's head out a little bit too, but this guy especially. We really gotta get him out of that corner. Don't worry, little guy. You'll definitely have a much better time out here. Lag allowing. You know, maybe I should turn off the filter layer while I'm moving these guys around and then just check after. Okay. Here, Krita, you can have a little break. Updating. You can see it over by my shoulder here. Let me see if I can get out of the way. Updating. It's at the bottom by my arm, and it is doing its best. I'm gonna do it every time. Every time, because it is so useful to use a filter layer instead of just, not. Oh, I didn't have the layer locked when I was doing that, did I? I might have. Regardless. Or is that snow that's, kind of blocking the bunny here? It is snow. Okay, in that case, you gotta go. We gotta see the bunny. The bunny is too important. Alright. So for these guys, they're not gonna get much detail, but I want them to look a little bit better than they do now. Gonna go revisit my bunny references just to make sure that they are adorable. Very important. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to do something a little like that with the ear. Something a little like that with the face. Ears are like a little bit triangular. And then they got a little face that kind of points off like this. And a little body that just kind of like this. And now he just looks like he's just plopped there. Nice and relaxed, having a great time. Okay, and then this bunny. This bunny can have his little ears. And this one I decided was a little flopped over on the side there. And I'll let his little body kind of come down like this. Okay. And once again... Oh, I drew this on the wrong layer. Well, shoot. Okay, I gotta back it up. I don't want this to be on the wrong layer. Oh god. Oh god. The lag. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna back it up. Can I back it up all the way? Am I allowed to? Did I draw too much? Alas, I did. Okay, in that case, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna merge the snow layer and the bunny layer together and be sad. Okay. Mistakes were made. But it happens sometimes. Nothing to worry about. Let's go give them some shadows here. I'm just gonna take the purple, set the brush to multiply again, so this way I don't have to be switching colors and stuff. It's convenient. And like I said, they're not going to get a whole lot of detail, just enough to be interesting. And I will let them have a little bit of light as well. Just let their like little ears kind of catch just a little bit. And once again, I think I want them to be a little more silhouette-y. I'm gonna darken them a little bit, especially this one. Okay, that should do it. Once poor Krita stops having trouble. Okay. And yeah, I think that's a pretty solid little foreground there. Just being invited in by the trees and the bunnies. Okay, so with that said, like, what should I do next? Guess I'll turn on some of the animals. I still don't really trust myself with, I don't know, these bunnies feel a little bit too samey in height. We gotta let this guy hide a little bit more again, I think. But, yeah, I still don't trust myself when it comes to proportions. So I don't really feel like working on the rest of her body right now. I probably should have worked all this up before detailing her head, but it's fine. I didn't, so here we are. I guess I could work on the snowman a little bit too. The the snowman just sands the part that Pippa's going to be covering up with her hand. Gotta... There we go. This guy can be hiding a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's put the snowman back on. Okay. I'm just gonna mirror this so I can check everything here, everything compositionally. I don't really want to get too deep into the background yet. I guess there are certain parts where I know where certain things will be covered, but that tells me, I guess, we can draw some more animals for just the next... I don't know. What? How much longer do I have? Like 40 minutes? Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's go draw some bunnies. And some snowmen. And some deer. And some birds. Just kind of deciding how I want to tackle this. Alright, I'm gonna go pull up some deer references. No, I think I'm gonna draw some more bunnies. Okay, let me see how the patterns on bunnies actually work then. Because some of the bunnies I did put patterns on. And let's see, based on where I have this snowman, I actually kind of gotta move that foot. Look, I know I just said I was gonna draw one particular thing, but my mind, it moves around a lot. And when I notice something wrong, I figure I better fix it. And I do want this leg to go behind the snowman here. So I'm gonna kind of adjust it accordingly. It needs to go that far back, which probably means that this foot needs to go a little further forward to offset that. Okay, how does her stance look when I hide the snowman? Yeah, she just got little bunny shoes, apparently. That's not why this bunny was here. It was meant to just be rolling around at the base of the snowman because I thought it was cute, but I didn't realize that's where I was actually putting her foot. I wasn't even thinking about that when I decided to put that bunny there. Yeah, that still looks fine. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll just get some of these little bunnies. Okay. So I don't think I have colors picked out for like any of this stuff, so I'm gonna start by picking a few colors. I'm gonna start with this bunny on her foot. Sorry, I already got the one little bunny on her head. I'm still wondering. No, I you know what? I gotta start with the bunny on her head. It is insufficiently fluffy. So I'm gonna go make it fluffier. I kind of rushed my way through it, and because I wanted to work on her face. So let's go back and remedy some of this. The bunny must be fluffy. Okay, let me go look at the type of fluff that bunnies have. Okay. They are a harder fluff than like the fluffy bits on her ears. So I'm actually going to use my hard brush for this, and I'm just going to draw little fluffy parts. Actually, you know what? I hate it. Let's use the soft brush. Actually, you know what else I could do that I think might be even easier? Is if I just grab the smudge brush and make it kind of small and just kind of fluff out the bunny this way. Oh yeah. That's what I want to do. And then I'll put some more fluff into its ears. Okay, I'm going to stay out at 100%. And we'll just make the bunny fluffy. Let's see, how much fluff is around their little cheeks and face? A fair amount, and they have whiskers. So I should draw that too. Get a little bit of extra fluff around the tip of the ears because I think it's cute and no other reason. But if I think it's cute, then I think it's worth doing. Okay, and then once I kinda smudge a little bit there, I have another thought in that Krita's wet brushes are actually pretty good for slightly more realistic hair and fur. So I think I can make this look a little fluffier just with this. Oh yeah. Look at that fluffy little guy. He's so fluffy. It's so fluffy. Man, that really is just so much better. Not even a contest. Look at that fluffy little guy. I'm even gonna kind of move some things around just on the regular interior fur as well. Just gotta get that fluff in there, and I'll give him some whiskers. Okay, and I don't feel like anything about this bunny still feels like super realistic or anything. I think he just looks, you know, soft and fluffy. So I'll take it. And then I want a little bit of fluff kind of covering the ear here. And from there, I can, like, grab a nice shadow color. No, I don't think I want the nice shadow color. I think I want a light color. And then I'll just draw some extra fluff. Just hanging out in the ear here. Oh, I still have you set to multiply. No wonder nothing looks good. Please be normal. Okay. So I'll put a little bit of extra fluff in the ear here. Okay, and from there, let's give him some little whiskers. I think I will just use this really bright color I got over there. And I'll just give him some little whiskers. You know, I never knew bunnies had whiskers. But yeah, they got real fluffy whiskers, and it looks like they kind of got some of their eyebrows, too. So sure, I'll give this little bunny some whiskers up here, too. Okay. Alright, well that guy is now extremely fluffy, so now I think I can go back to what I was planning for this guy. And I can get some colors. So I'll get colors for both the brown part and the black part. Let's see, where do I want to put some bunny colors? How about just like right here? Okay, and now I can just pick colors. I like to do that just by mixing colors on the canvas, so I just pick a nice purple and go from there. Set my brush to overlay, and then I get the colors. I can't do them both at once, can I? No, this is fine. Okay, so there's those colors. I will just get rid of the stuff here. Krita is lagging something fierce because of that blur layer, but it's fine. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my brown colors and kind of define a shape of bunny here. Just so that this way I know roughly where all of its features are going. I apparently have decided that its ears are kind of flopping on the ground. So now I gotta get all the cute little shapes in the ears. I think I'm okay with letting its little ears just kind of flop on the ground. I think that's pretty cute. I'm on the wrong layer. No wonder everything looks weird. Okay. I do that a lot. Happens more often than I like to admit. Anyway, cute bunny ears. Let's draw them. I'm gonna let them drag on the ground, because I think that will be cute too. So a little bit different than what I was doing before. But I wasn't quite satisfied with what I had before, so that seemed like a good time to try a new pattern. So there we go. Let those little ears come out and be adorable. This one, I guess I'll go ahead and draw in black. Oh no. Okay, I don't have the black selected, so never mind. Let its little ear come out like this. I want it to be a little bit separated from the rest of the body, I think. So I'll do it like this. And then I'll start trying to get the shape in there. There we go. I think that's pretty cute. We don't see this little guy's face. So he's just kind of hanging out. And then there's going to be like the backside of the ear coming through right here. I'll probably put a little bit of pink there. That's just how this ear is twisted. Okay. And then its head. It's like this. So this is where the back of its head is. And then it's got a little foot right here. It's kind of hanging out. And this is ear, and this is a little foot. And then it's got its little back foot here, just all scrunched up. So I'll get that little foot there, and then it kind of wraps around and goes up like this. So I'll adjust its backside now. Don't worry, the erasing of the tail is only temporary. I will add the fluffy little bunny tail momentarily. Let another little foot kind of come out like this. Actually, do we see another little foot here? I think we might see kind of the back of the leg like this. I think that's probably accurate. And then little fluffy tail right there. So he's just all balled up. And I don't think I'm quite happy with the shape of the head here. Let me look at cute little bunny ears again. I think the ears are probably a little bit long, but I don't care. I'm going to keep them like that because I think it makes the bunny a little cuter. But I do kind of want to get the shape of the head a little bit nicer. Kind of let it relax a little like this. And I'm just plopping on dark areas, you know, where it helps me see the structure of Bunny. This way I know where things should go. And I think he should look fine once I make him look a little bit fluffier. Okay, now I want to look at common bunny patterns. Just know the kind of things... Like, how varied are they? And truthfully, I do not know very much about rabbits. I'm not much of a rodent person. So, I don't actually know what kind of patterns they tend to have on them. But it does look like I can mostly do what I want here. I just want to take a look and see what's out there. Okay, so I can indeed strategically place my little splotches and stuff. So we'll make this leg dark. We'll have a nice little splotch right here at the base of its head, so that this way I can show that it is overlapping. And I do like having this ear black. I thought that was really cute. And then I'll just put another little one on its back. Maybe another little one on the top of its head here. Okay. So something like that. And now I can start getting proper shading in here. I'm gonna do all my shading stuff before I go and make it fluffy. I just find that to be a little bit easier to deal with. So I'm gonna start with the brown. Kind of blend all that in, and once again, you know, I gotta make them fluffy. So a fluffy exterior starts with a fluffy interior, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and fluff. I'll just fluff everywhere. And I'll get the basics in for now, and afterward I will go ahead and take the wet brush and kind of brush over things a little. Let's see. Here, it should be kind of like this, and then the black part just kind of goes into it all. And I can just get the color I need anytime, because I have it on the swatch, so all is well. And now I can kind of get this shadow in there, where it kind of connects to the rest of the body here. So I want a little shadow right there where I just feel like the tail is overlapping with things a little. I don't want to go too hard on it though, because my light source is, you know, up there. So the side that should be in shadow is back here. And I'm pretty sure I made that tail way too big, but you know what? I think it's okay. I'm gonna take a look at a few more pictures of bunnies and see what I think, but yeah, I think it's okay. It should look fine once I make it fluffy. Okay, and then this leg is like the back leg, so I want the fluffy part to be over here. It'll be overlapping the leg there. And then back here is mostly just going to be in shadow. So I'll go ahead and kind of darken this area. Okay, let's start getting its little bunny head here. Go ahead and add some shadow on the ear here. Little dark spots over here. Only a little bit though. I don't think it needs to be very dark through there at all. And then here the head is overlapping everywhere else a little bit, so I will let the fluff extend onto the other parts. And the head is overlapping this ear a little bit, so I will let the fluff extend on top. Just kind of trying to adjust his the back of his head a little bit here, kind of where I feel like things connect in a little bit more. I don't really want a solid line there. Hello there, Campfire Stories. Welcome. And I'll just connect his neck a little bit. Okay. Now let's get some of the black parts. Gotta make those little spots nice and fluffy too. And I'll probably have to switch back to brown for some of them. This is a bunny. And it is sitting on this girl's foot. I am drawing Pipkin Pippa of Face Connect. So right now, you know, it's a background element, so I don't really mind just leaving it as kind of a little blob. It's fine. All is well. So I'm just kind of detailing it as much as necessary, and with as small as it is, I don't think it needs to be much more detailed than this. So right now, I'm just trying to make it a little fluffier. Because I am currently unsatisfied with the level of fluff here. Alright, well thanks for stopping by. Have a nice rest of your day. Okay. So I'm just trying to blend in these spots a little bit and make everything fluffy around there. And everything will fluff, fluff, fluff. And I'll just keep going until I'm mostly happy. I can probably get a little bit of easy fluff from wet brushes. And I think I'm mostly happy here, so, you know, let's go do it. Let's go make him extra fluffy here. See, I like this one for this kind of thing because it just makes the loveliest little fur texture. I mean, look at that. And it is so effortless. I still stand by my claim that brushes won't really help you until you already know what you're doing. But once you do know what you're doing, it can speed things up a little bit. But I do consider brushes to be an advanced topic, not a beginner topic. It is not something you should start with. And then, you know, I think after I make this guy fluffy, I'm gonna get him a little bit more in the snow. So I'm gonna put a little bit of snow on his foot. But first he must be fluffy. This is just a very fluffy bunny. There we go. Nice and fluffy. Okay, I think I'm gonna put in some light parts too. I'll fluff those out. I probably should have done that first, honestly, but it's fine. It's always fine. Unironically, you know, even if you forget something, you can just put it back in whenever you want. There we go. I don't think I need a particular highlight color for this. I think just using the yellow is fine. Then I'll just brush it on in. Now he's just nice and fluffy. I worry that his fur looks a little bit matted, but I think it's okay, actually. Let's get him in the snow a little. Just a little bit in the snow. Get the little shadow of the snow there and there. I think that's good for that little bunny. And then from there, you know, I think I got time for one more, so look at this little guy right here. So he's a slightly different kind of brown. So I'll go up to the swatch and, you know, get another group for this brown one. And I'll pick a color. The white belly, I think I'll just keep using the snow color. I think that's fine. I don't like that one. How's this? No, everything is just too purple. So this tells me I should switch to multiply and pick a very, very light gray purple. There we go. That's a good one. There. Okay. Now then. Let's get the bunny shape right. I think I'm probably going to end up overriding that little white part, but that's fine. And this guy, he's kind of facing us, so he will have a little face. So I'm going to study little bunny faces real quick here. Okay. So first things first. Their ears kind of go out at an angle when they're not, like, straight up. Huh. Am I on the wrong layer? Oh, I'm on the right one. Why are you so much darker? Okay, I see. I got confused for a second. Alright, anyway. Let's get his little ears going out there, and just for my own reference, I'm gonna go ahead and mark where his eyes are gonna be. They're gonna be doing something like this. That may be a little bit inside the ears, but don't worry, I'll fix it. But yeah, just something kind of like that. And now I can kind of get the shape of everything else based on that. I'm not quite happy with where the ears are. Those will not be the final eyes. But it's enough to kind of get me started. And you know what? Maybe I should put a little bunny nose on him too. Okay. So now I can kind of base the shape of his head around that. Bunnies have this... I don't know. They got these like little chubby cheeks. And their head is... like almost triangular. So flat at the top, and then they got these chubby cheeks. Then the ears... where did they come out? It's gonna come out kind of behind this little guy's head. So I think something like this kind of shape should work. Then I'll just get another little ear up there, and I think that's pretty adorable. He should look great once he's nice and fluffy. And then I'll start kind of blocking in where I think shadow should go, so like right around here, and then there's going to be a dark one on either ear. Kind of on this side of his face. Okay, and I don't think bunnies do this, but that's okay. This is my universe, and bunnies can do whatever I want them to do. But I do think his tummy is a little bit long, so I'm gonna squish him a little. And then he'll just have little paws coming out like that. Do bunnies have paw pads? I feel like this question is relevant to what I am doing right now. Do bunnies have paw pads? Yes, they do. They have 3 beans, it looks like. 3 beans and then a big one. Okay. So I'll be sure to get those in there when the time comes. But for now, this little bunny will just be very squishy and rolling around. Because it can. I think it's a good way to be. Always do fun things just because you can. Okay, and then he's got a little white tummy. I guess I ended up not getting rid of the little white tummy, so that's nice. Let's see, how our bunny head? I think it should be a little bit higher up, the tummy, that is. Okay. Little bunny. There we go. I think that looks pretty cute. So I'll go ahead and start rendering it. No, I think I want everything to be a little bit smoother before I go in and do that. But you know what? That's fine. That's easy enough to do. Just round out this little paw here. and just get his face super beanie and triangular. And I think I'm just going to cover up the facial features for now. I will add them again at the end, once he is all nice and shaded and looking very cute. And I'll see what happens. I just don't want to work on such a rough surface. I'm not gonna be like super particular about getting it totally smooth like I would for most things, because I know I am gonna make him fluffy at the end, but I do want it to be a little bit smoother than this. Just because this will ultimately inform how that fluff gets made. And if it's too blobby, then I'll end up with blobby fluff, and that just sounds terrible, you know? Okay. So now I'll go and make them fluffy. So I gotta do a lot of blobbing around with my little airbrush here. And afterward, I'll go ahead and just, I don't know, grab the wet brush and fluff things out a little bit more. As you do. Everything must be very, very... I feel like little animals like this are just not the same if they're not fluffy. Okay. Man. I want a little bit less shadow right through there. But everything else I think is about how I want it. Gonna add a little bit through here. A little bit through here, and that'll be where the pink part of the ear goes when it comes time to draw that. So kind of the same over here, and then a little bit over there, and I think that's probably fine. Go ahead and add a little bit of fluff to the tummy now. So I'm definitely gonna want a little bit like under the chin here. A little bit just kind of around the edge here. We'll let it fluff out onto everything here. Fluff, 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 fluff. So. Okay, then I'm gonna put some floof out onto the tummy itself. Little bit from the face, and okay, I think it is ready for the final fluffing step. So I'll just go in and gently pull at the edges with this. And there we go. We got a fluffy bunny. Who's so fluffy. And this one I'll have to add features to. I think, once again, I'm just going to do it on the same layer. I'm not overly concerned. It'll be fine. Okay, that's a fluffy face. Let's get some fluff onto the head itself. Now I can do some of the paws here. Make sure to get the inside too, and let's get that fluff up onto the belly here. Belly does not look nearly fluffy enough, and I am so unsatisfied. Oh yeah, that's a fluffy belly. Now I'm happy. Because now it's fluffy. Okay, just kind of getting all those other shapes in there. Let's fluff out its little feet. Let it roll around. Get the little tail. Let that be just as fluffy as everything else. And I think once again I forgot the highlights, but it's fine. I'll just grab those at the end once everything is fluffy. And then we'll make it even fluffier. With the power of highlights. Okay, and that's pretty fluffy. I'm happy. So I'll go paint some yellow here. Just like where it's directly facing the sun. Up on the paw here. Up on the paw here. And I think a little bit on the bottom of its face over here. This is why I'm doing it before I do the features. And I'll put a little bit over here, but not a lot. Just a little bit there. And now I can make this fluffier too. I'm glad I remembered this brush because making everything just nice and fluffy with it is like basically free. And I do appreciate that. I'd have to work a lot harder to do it with the airbrush. But I am glad I know how to do it with the airbrush. So it opens up opportunities for things that I do not have specific brushes for. So very worth learning how to do things with just basic brushes in my opinion. I don't want his fur to look quite that long, so I'm going to kind of take this back a little. Okay, and now I can get its cute little bunny eyes, and its cute little bunny nose, and its cute little bunny paws. Just reminding myself where bunny eyes go and what they look like real quick. Have not drawn many a bunny, so I always like to take a look before I try. This one maybe looks a little angry, but I'll fix it. Gotta round this part out a little. There we go. And I'm still gonna give him cute little eyelashes because I think it's cute. And I'll do the same on this side. Just kind of carefully drawing it in because I am feeling dangerous and I'm doing everything on the same layer. It'll stop me from getting a little bit too particular about such small details. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab this pink here for its little pink nose. They are just kind of vaguely cat-like, right? Yeah. Cat-like is close enough. I'm not gonna give him a little mouth. A little nose is plenty. I will, however, brush just the slightest bit of pink into here. Don't mind that they look vaguely demonic right now. I'll fix it. But first I want to draw little toe beans. And a big one. And then two small ones. Oh yeah, those are some cute beans. Okay. And then we get a long one. Okay. And I will put just a little bit of shading on that. I'll just use the same color here. Just a little. Oh yeah, and I also wanted to get the inside of the ears, that's right. I don't think it needs a lot. But I'll give it a little. And then the eyes need a specular. Otherwise it will not look cute. It'll look scary. Okay, and now I can get the inside of the ears. I already kind of got where they're going to go marked out, so works out. There we go. Okay, and now I want to make things a little bit fluffy again. So I want to cover up certain parts of these with fur. I'm not going to do it on the face, but I do want to do it on the paws. And the ears. I do think that is important. The ears are very important. They must be extra fluffy. Oh yeah, that's some good fluff right there. Then I'll just cover them up a little bit more on this side, and this side I think I'm going to do both. Okay, and let's see, is there anything else I want to do with you? Right, whiskers. I was like, I knew I was forgetting something. Give him some little whiskers. Just little tiny whiskers. And I'll put the little couple that I saw kind of on the forehead too. Okay. So there we go. We got 3 bunnies done out of a lot. It's okay. I think it'll get easier as I draw more bunnies. I just, you know, haven't drawn them in like ever. But I think that this is where I will stop for today. I'm not going to turn on the layers or anything. I'm just going to leave it just like this. And then on Monday, when I work on this picture again, I can worry about just, I don't know, finishing Pippa. Once I confirm that I am satisfied with proportions and whatnot, I can just go ahead and finish her off, and then we can go back to animals, and I'll probably be drawing animals for a little while, and I don't think the background will actually take that long to wrangle. It's honestly, I mean, it probably looks a little intimidating, but I think it's actually pretty straightforward, just because trees are free. You just draw scribbles, and it'll look like a tree, it'll be fine. So, the only really hard part in this background that I see is just the animals, really. Everything else is going to be pretty easy. Well, that's fine. Like I said, I'm happy to be a sleep aid. Very much am. But this is where I'll be stopping for today, so thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.